Hi, everyone. I trust you are well. I'm not sure who's joining us. Today is Tuesday, the 31st of August, the last day of Women's Month. It has been a phenomenal, remarkable month full of trials and tribulations and successes and wins to so many, even to myself. Because if I were to ask you and reflect on the past 31 days, you'll be so amazed when you just sit and just look at your wins and the gratitude. And when you practice what we call gratitude, you just realize how many wins, how much you have achieved. Because at times we just concentrate on the 5%, which is bad, and we feel like our life is over, it's doomed. So I challenge you to do that. So welcome once more. If you're on Facebook, please send a hello, just type, and also if you're on YouTube, just say hi as well. And also share this post, this live. It might impact someone. The message that is going to be given today might plant a seed, might empower someone, might inspire, because that is what Join the Conversations it's all about. It's about ordinary women from all walks of life sharing their lessons learned, their aha moments, their message. And I believe those messages are God sent because everybody goes through their own journey in this life. And you might find that that journey that person has gone through, they had to go through that so that they can come back in platforms like this to share the message, to help you. You might be saying everything is over, you're gonna commit suicide. I tell you, don't. Your life is so valuable. You are a VIP in this world. If you don't know that, it's another topic that I'll share on another day. But just remember today, you're a VIP in this world. You've got a purpose. Your challenges and your circumstances might make you feel like not, but God loves you so, so much. And who am I? I am transformation coach Mashudu Mbhele. Others know me as Ntsieni, Keti, whatever name resonates with you. I'm also a negative emotional therapy practitioner. I'm a metallurgist. I'm an entrepreneur. I've got so many roles that people give me, so I'll just give those. And what do I do as a transformational coach? I help people transform their lives, help them to get rid of their emotional and mental baggages which are sabotaging their lives. Also, their negative belief system. Because if you were to look today, you might say, how is she sitting there and just being just flawless? Even myself, I went like, how could I do it? But you can do it. You just have to overcome and just start. So I help people to with that. And it could be people who have got depression or procrastination, issues with their relationships with self and with others. So the relationship with self is quite key. And it could be someone who's feeling they don't like their body. I remember I said, you're a gift. God has brought you here, a VIP. You might not like your body. And I help you people so that they can love themselves. They can go beyond what they are going through so they can be successful. And I'm also part of WAY, which is Women Emancipate Yourself. I think that is where I learned a lot about emancipating women as well. Also supporting women, which is something which is quite rare because of the two-head Down syndrome. So I'm part of that organization as well. But that's enough of me. I think you've heard enough of me. We've got a lovely, lovely guest today. And we couldn't have this session last week, Friday, because we didn't have power, but she gave us her time. She's quite a busy bee, all I can tell you, but I'm just grateful that she was able to set time to come and impart her message to us, because I believe the message, it had to happen today. You might find that somebody had to be here today. You didn't have to share it on Friday. So there's never a coincidence. So it had to happen today. So can you welcome? And to those on Facebook, YouTube, welcome. My guest, can you introduce yourself and tell us who you are?
Thank you very much, Ntsieni. Who am I? Really, this is one of the questions that often when it's asked, we answer it without thinking much, simply because it's a hard question to answer. It requires one to do some deep work. So reflecting on who am I, Tsieni really I live to make an impact. I have dedicated my life to being of service, or I rather thrive to be of service and to represent the true meaning of hope and positive energy about life. Like you said earlier on, very often we adapt to positive experiences, but we don't adapt to negative experiences. As a result, we always often remember the bad things that have happened to us than the good things that has happened to us. Hence, there's a song that requires us to just stop and count our blessings. So whatever room or space I happen to occupy or find myself, I really thrive to represent those who aren't fortunate enough yet to be in that room. I use my voice, I tell my story, I'm comfortable in my own skin. I love adventure, I love running for a cause. It goes without saying that my love for adventure is not only just for adventure, but it is actually to make an impact while I do what I love. Two things I'm very passionate about in Sieni, it's education and just the joy of being in the present moment. Very often when I find my mind wandering, either wandering, thinking about the past or thinking about the future, I say, hang on a second, what's around you that you can appreciate? Because the only true moment and the only real moment that we have is actually now. The past is gone. No amount.
Hello, are you still with us? Hello. Okay, I think we got a network issue. I trust she'll come back. I will wait. She's still online. So guys, if you've got questions for my guests, please ask, type them. And I see we've got 3 people who have joined. Welcome, guys. If you've got any questions for my guests, please type them. Okay, I think she'll redial again. She's gonna redial. So welcome. Yes, she froze. She's gonna come back. She just left again. And then she'll come back. We'll just wait. But if you've got questions for her, please let me know. I'll relay those questions to her. Maybe I can just continue with what Join the Conversations is all about. As I said, it's about empowering people from all walks of lives and to share their message, to inspire and to plant seed, because someone's story might heal someone, and it doesn't
Sieni, sorry there,
Okay.
I think I lost connectivity.
Yes, welcome back.
Thank you.
Okay, you can continue.
Yes, and Sieni, thank you. I mean, as I was just saying, really my mission is to, whichever the room or space I find myself, I also bring in many voices of others who may not be fortunate yet to be in that room, to represent many others like me. Especially, I'm very passionate about, especially a girl from a rural village. I'm a rural village girl myself. So that's what I'm about. I love to make an impact. I love to connect. I'm very passionate about a girl child, especially in South Africa. I was just reflecting, and Sieni, as I was thinking about this conversation with you about how the month of August has been. And a lot of good stories have been shared and a lot of empowerment. And that is absolutely beautiful. But I was also remembered about the gruesome killing of our sister, Nosicelo, whom her body was found dismembered in a suitcase, killed by, or alleged to have been killed by a partner. While I was thinking about that, I remembered that in August 2 years ago, Ayanene, honest young girl, going to the post office, just like me and anyone who may go to the post office to pick up their parcel. And those are some of the challenges that we in South Africa as women still face, the deep fears we have about men, not only strangers, unfortunately, even our very own brothers, our very own fathers, our very own husbands and partners. Hence, we really need to pull forces together and say, how do we as a society build and bring back that moral fiber? It must be scary growing up as a young girl, reading about these news of girls being murdered by their partners. It's very scary. And I think South African men can do better, and South African women can do better by walking away from abusive relationship, by shaming and naming abusers, by being comfortable in their own skin. See, and you spoke about being comfortable in your own body, being comfortable in knowing that you yourself, you are enough. All else is just a bonus. So you know a bonus, even if you didn't get it, it's absolutely okay. You already have enough.
Thank you for sharing that. It comes back to the other discussion I had with Gugu Zwane, talking about having this courageous discussion of bringing back the moral fiber, talking about things which were uncomfortable to talk about. And it comes back to, you might be asking yourself, what can you do from what she said? It starts with us having kids, how we raise those kids into this world. What values do we instill? What discipline? Because even our parents, we are aware that they grew up from different generations which were tough, but you as a being here, you've got the opportunity to change your parenting so that you change. So I would say it starts also with homes wherever you are. And you might say the world is so big, but start somewhere, plant a seed somewhere, and it will start spreading. We can do something about it. Yeah. So I would like the thread that I'm seeing also through this conversation. It's so amazing. Thank you for sharing that. So my further question is, what is your message for us on this awesome Tuesday?
Thanks. Yeah, I'm sure there are a number of messages that one can share, especially because there's still a lot more to be done. But one message that I really thought of was a message around start the hard work now. Do the hard things. And this is a message to all women, myself included. I remind myself these words pretty much every day, do the hard work. Often we shy away from hard work. And we sometimes even use interesting phrases such as don't work hard, work smart. Hard work, it's really the currency that counts. I'll tell you why. I'll give you just a simple example. These days on Saturdays and Sundays, it's raining. And I'm training for Marathon of the Sands, Marathon des Sables, which is 250 kilometers running in the Sahara Desert. And when I wake up and it's raining, and there's a temptation to say, move this training to tomorrow. I always remind myself, Nontu, you can do hard things. And when I say hard things, I'm not necessarily saying go around, carry heavy stuff, do the work that no one wants to do, you name it. But it's basically saying, be committed to your craft. And commitment is to stay true to that which you said you will do long after which the mood in which you said it has left you. Every time you feel a temptation to procrastinate or defer work, remind yourself you can do hard things. And Sieni and listeners, with that comes self-mastery. We can say a lot of things about mastering the world, mastering social ills we have, but it actually starts with mastering yourself. Whatever that you've been avoiding to do, from today, my message is, start it now. Remember, you are not obligated to complete the work, but neither you are free to abandon it. I'm going to repeat this because I love this message. Often when we are about to do hard things, we feel we have to complete the task in one day, or take an example, exercise. when we decide we want to start exercising, we feel we need to do 10 kilometers or 20 kilometers in one day. No, it's okay to start with 2 kilometers, but do it consistently. Wake up and show up even on days when you don't feel like doing it. You are not obliged to complete the work, but neither you are free to abandon it. Why this is so important? Because when you feel obliged to complete anything, already you feel like you are under a tight leash, and you may even overdo. As a result, you kill the energy and the love of doing it. But be consistent. As they say, consistency is the only currency that matters. We often fall for a trap of wanting to really be everything to everyone and neglect. There are those goals that we set for ourselves, not because they define ourselves, because our self-worth should never be on the table. Nontu is not what she does or what job title she has. But there are goals that we set for ourselves, especially those that won't only benefit us, but may benefit even many generations to come. Don't defer those goals. Truth of the matter is, we're all in search of why I'm on earth. And you will find why you're on earth by doing the hard things. Do the deep, hard things that you have set yourself to do. My message really today in CN is to say, go out, show up afraid. Very often, CN, when we think about doing something, we are quick to feel like, you know what? Who am I to achieve that? The question is, who are you not to achieve it? We often think, what if I fall? My question is, what if you fly? Let me remind you, 99% of people who start the race finishes the race. What does that mean? The magic is in starting. Show up, have faith. You have to risk in order to gain. That's a fact. Hard work is also never a waste of time. Don't be fixated to the results and the destination. Siani, let me share this with you. You know, I love adventure, and it is never about the destination. It's never, even with Marathon of the Sands, it's not about finishing the 250 kilometers, but it's who Nontu becomes in the process. It's been now 6 months of grinding, hard work, waking up at 4 o'clock, going for a run, at 5 o'clock after work, going for a run, putting my body, my spirit, my soul under discipline and known to emerge stronger in the end. So enjoy the ride, enjoy the ride. The fact that you have signed up for that master's, don't now be fixated on the day you're on stage and you are awarded that master. Just enjoy the ride. Enjoy the fact that, today you read articles, you got information that you didn't have. Wow, you are wiser than yesterday. Just be a full participant in your life, you know. Don't be a victim of ego, because ego will say, only play if you will win. But humility and maturity says, even if I do not win, I'll get satisfaction by having shown up, by having played and enjoyed myself in the process, because ego will always say there is a winner and a loser. And ego tells you can't afford people laughing at you and seeing that you started a coaching business and it didn't fly. That's ego, right? But humility says, I would have impacted lives, even if it's one. So let us free ourselves. When I say free ourselves from fear, we will always feel fear, but be okay to look fear in the eye and say, I am okay to engage you. I am okay to negotiate with you. After all, what am I fearing? Because I will enjoy the ride. So that's my message in short. Just keep moving forward. Start those things, those goals that you have put a pause on it. Because either you feel the conditions are not great. Let me share this with you. Conditions will never be 100%. You just have to be resilient. Again, last Saturday, when it was raining, I reminded myself, It's not so great conditions, it's raining. But anyway, in the Sahara Desert, it will be extremely hot. It will be difficult too. It's just different kinds of difficult. So I shouldn't fear difficult conditions. Let me just show up and also show my toughness, because all of us, within us, we've got that thing that can do the hard work. Just activate that thing that can do the hard work. Every time from today you feel like deferring work, remind yourself, I can do hard things. Thanks, Ziani.
Thank you so much. And I see we've got Sharon, and she's also writing the key takeaways from what you're saying. I think what stood out for her is that she said you can work smart once you have worked hard, and the other one is just start. You'll never know if you can or can't until you start. Just start. Thank you for that. My other question is, how do you balance community work, working, and your passion for running and serving? How do you balance? For someone saying, I aspire to be you, because with whatever you're doing, there's someone who's watching you, there's someone who's doing it in the background. So how do you continue inspiring them to continue doing that?
Interesting you've asked that question, Sian, about how do I balance? I'm not going to lie and say I compromise sleep, because sleep is important for recovery and we all should prioritize sleep. But I do, I'm quite mindful, Sieni, about the shortness of life. And I think even if you weren't mindful before, COVID-19 reminded us about the shortness of life. So I wake up every day and say, what do I want to achieve today? And I go after it. I'm very mindful about the shortness of life. I don't know how many years I'll have on earth. So if I need to explore, I have to do it today. And for me, I strongly believe early to bed, early to rise makes a person healthy, wealthy, and sane. So I go to bed early and I wake up very early. Trust me, those 2 hours that you can start from today to practice waking up early, 2 hours times 365 days, you tell me, what is that? There's so much of time idling. Time is similar to money. It's easy to think we don't have it until we do a stock take of how we spend our time. Are you too much on social media? Can you cut back and plow that time back to the goals you want to achieve? And it's all starting, Sieni, with setting goals. I'm big on setting goals. Really, I set goals for the year. I set goals for the month. I set goals for the week. I set goals for a day. So once you have it written down, you just go after it. I mean, I was just chatting to you and Sieni prior this conversation that I've just finished my run, because today I knew that normally I would run until 6:30. In the evenings, today I must be done by just 6:15. So what does that mean? It means I must run a little faster so that I'm able to cover the same distance I would have, so that I'm able to have a conversation. And guess what? I was able to go to run this morning, go to work, contribute meaningfully, go for a run in the afternoon and have a meaningful conversation with you. Had I not set out to do that, one of these objectives would have suffered. And because I wouldn't have wanted to disappoint you, I suspect it would have been my afternoon run. And I also could not afford to disappoint and compromise my training regime. So it is all about, write it down. Very often we think, oh, I want to do this, and we don't write it. There's power in writing your goals down. There is power. I'm going to repeat this because it could be also, for someone else, it could be another big message. Write it down. Remember, when you write it down, it's the first time, whatever the vision you have, that actually sees the light of life. It's existing in the practical world, not only now in your mind, but it has come forth in a sense that if I leave it on the table, Sieni will come and read it. Because it's now in the world, it's existing. So it's the first step of existence of your goals is write it down. And I still like to use pen and paper to write it down, to bring it on the physical world, not on the digital world. So that's how I really balance my life. I never really feel like I'm overstretching myself. I'm just reminded that we are not here forever. So let's do the things that set our souls on fire.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I think it resonates with what happened. I think 2 days ago, I got a WhatsApp from one client I had. They told me we did the goal setting and vision board, and they're writing it up. And also, normally what I teach is that you need to feel it as if it exists. If you don't feel it, it won't happen. And she just said, where's the goals? Because she wrote them down. They just manifest like this, and she's quite grateful. And if you are there, you don't know how to do this process, you can reach out to me. I'll help you with that process because it's so powerful. It's about the law of attraction. It's about making sure things exist. And I remember when I started my career, one of the leaders, I asked him, how do you do it? And he said, you need to write your goals down. You need to see them daily. Even if it's for 5 years, people will just come and help you to manifest because it's no longer in their mind. It's already, everyone can say it. So that is so powerful.
Absolutely. And you know, Zieni, it will sound like a cliche. Everything I had written down, it has come to pass. Literally everything. And I write down even small things. I even write down how much I want to earn. And you know what? Every time I've written down, I've achieved it. I don't know how, but just the universe brings it to me. And just believe that good things love you. Because when you write down good things and don't doubt it. Even if you don't know the how, just write the what. The universe works in mysterious ways because the universe wants you to be successful, period. The universe wants you to be successful. So work with the universe. Work with the universe. Believe good things want you as much as you want good things.
Thank you. Thank you. I see Sharon also just wrote, it says there is a big affirmation in writing our goals down. So true, there is. So my question to those who are listening, who might be listening from Zoom or from Facebook or from YouTube, are you writing your goals down? And what is stopping you? Are you saying, notes and all that? Why do you care about that? So write them down so that they materialize, and you'll be so amazed about that power. And you just, like she's saying, she just writes them down and everything happens because the universe is there to serve you. We've got so much abundance that is surrounding us. We block it with our limiting beliefs. We block it with our thoughts because our thought creates. So another question is, what thoughts are you creating now? Are you creating lack, or are you creating success or desires? So it comes back to you. You're blocking your own abundance and what is right for you. So yeah, thank you for that. My further question is, why is this message that you have shared with us, why is it so important to you?
Thanks, Zieni. Interesting question when you say, why is it important to me? But I think really why I wanted us to talk about do the hard things and face your fears. It's because we often fear death, but we don't fear dying while we are alive. Whilst actually research has shown that most people merely exist, they're not living. They are not full participants in their lives. They just show up as if someone said, be there at 9 o'clock, and then you pitched, but you're not sure what this meeting is about, instead of being a full participant and directing your life, running your life like you are running a business, a profitable one for that matter. Often People may die physical death at 60, while in actual fact, they died the spiritual death at 30. The reason I shared this message because I want to facilitate the awakening of how much are you a full participant in your life? How much are you showing up in your life? Just awaken and just appreciate the moment. Just awaken to the present moment and be reminded and fully digest the fact that no one is sure of what will happen in the next minute. The only minute you are sure of is now. So how can you maximize this minute? How can you stretch this minute? Because once it's wasted, it will never come back. 6 o'clock of the 31st of August, 2021, CNE will never come back. No amount of money can bring it back. No amount of begging can bring it. No amount of thinking about it can ever bring it back. It's gone. How you use it, it's up to you. Hence the message I shared. Show up in your life. Do the hard things now, right now, because this right moment is the only moment that we have on earth. Tomorrow is never guaranteed. Even forget about yesterday, unless you really need to take something to make you better for tomorrow. But mulling over the past, really, what you did wrong, how you should have done it better, it can only create suffering. Just show up now and do the hard things now. So many people in CNA are achieving greatness who may be even less qualified than you are, or less talented or less gifted. But guess what? Why they're achieving more greatness? They have the courage to face their fears. They've got the courage to show up. They've got the courage to be consistent. Consistency, I cannot emphasize how important it is. That is why research says better a person who walks or runs 3 kilometers every day, let's say 6 times a week, than a person who will run 25 kilometers once a week. Let that sink around why consistency is important, why you must do the hard work every day. 90% of people, like I said early on, in fact, 99% of people who start the race, they finish the race. I just want people to remember that. This means that really the magic is in starting. There's power in starting. And unfortunately, many dreams die before people even stand on the start line because they've already judged themselves that they are not worthy of that start line. There are so many people at that start line who are less trained than you, but they showed up. And guess what? They will finish because they showed up. How do you expect they win if you don't play? So that's the reason for my message, to say tomorrow is unknown. No one knows tomorrow, but today, the now, we have it. Let's use it.
I'm wowed. I'm getting goosebumps. I'm so excited. This message is quite wow. It's amazing. Even Sharon, she's also saying she loves this talk. I really love it, guys. So I trust you have been challenged on showing up and consistency, which is quite key, which has been resonating, and just start. And I just love how these conversations have been. Even Molaro Nemate, when she started on day 1, on the 1st of August, she said, start now, and this is continuing, being expanded. So start wherever you are. If you want to start your podcast, start it. If you want to write a book, start it. Even myself, I've been challenged. I need to start my book. I'm going to start writing my book. So you should be hearing more about it. And I know you're involved in a lot of uplifting communities. Can you just share with people what are you busy with and how can they support those initiatives? I know you'll be working on the desert soon. So how do they support this initiative?
Thank you, Ntsieni. Yes, you'd remember 2020 February, I ran the 7 marathons on 7 continents in 7 successive days to build 5 classrooms for Keeping Kunzi Primary School, and that was achieved. And the building was completed in February this year and handed to the school. And that has changed the lives of learners at Keeping Kunzi Primary School forever. Some of the classrooms, they were having over 100 learners just in one classroom. Window panes were shattered. So the new 5 classrooms and renovating the school has helped in a great way. I mean, it's actually even difficult to put it into words. It's a sustainable project future generation will benefit from it. And thanks to sponsors who make it possible. Because for me, I really, I've always been running and seeing, traveling for running. But I then thought, why don't I do all of this sweat for a reason, So now, from the 1st of October, I'll be running in the Sahara Desert, running 251 kilometers to raise funds to build ablution facilities, toilets, facilities, and an administration block for Keeping Good Primary School. And people who really want to support the cause, the building of the project will be starting next month in September, because my goal is that while I run, the building is taking place. So people who wishes to support this cause can email me on nontu.mgabhi@icloud.com. It's nontu, NONTU.Mgabhi, MGABHI @icloud.com. It will be lovely to partner with people to make sure that this project does take place. We're still obviously short of funding, but we have faith that the universe provides, as always.
I trust everyone who has tuned in, they've been touched by the message and the work that she's doing, and that she'll be running the Sahara Desert. Ask yourself, what is that thing that you're so scared of that you thought you'll never achieve? So just start. And we'll be following you on social media. Nontu will support you. And guys, you heard, you can contact her on Nontuthuko.Mgabhi@icloud.com. I'll also type it down. I see at times the converter is not typing properly on Facebook, but I'll type it down. But do support and just change a life. It's all about changing one life at a time. And you'll be so amazed by when those girls, they reflect 10 years or 20 years later about that change that you have just created in their lives, and so that they don't worry about the basic needs, which is according to the Maslow hierarchy of love, that basic need, that they can worry about being successful and changing the world and changing their status. We will appreciate that. And yeah, thank you so much. Any final words for us?
Thank you very much, Shinsi. And just one final word. Life is best when it's lived in a sense of being of service to others. Often we overly obsess about our own needs. As a result, our own needs just simply grow. Practice being of service to others, and you realize how much that enriches your life. Really, it gives you a billionaire feeling. I always say giving, in fact, is selfish in a good, selfish way. Because when you give, you really do feel good, So yeah, hence there's a rule that love your neighbor as you love yourself, so that you will be more of service to others. Really, my final words is life is best lived in service to others. Thanks.
Hey, thank you guys. Life is best lived when you're in service to others. And you might be asking yourself, what is your purpose? And find your purpose. I told you you're a VIP in this world. You need to come and serve. And if you don't know your purpose, speak to a coach who will help you, or you can reach out to me. I can help you to find that purpose, because it's that thing that you wake up, you get excited. You can just see with Nontu, she just shared her life and a passion, and you can just see the passion of serving. As much as she's working, she's looking holistically into her life, and she's adding value, and she's being fulfilled. So in your life, are you fulfilled? What are you lacking in terms of fulfilling that life? And she just showed us it can be done. So you might be in your corner and you're saying the world has been so unfair. Raise your hand and ask those who have been there before you. They'll guide you to be quicker. Then you have to deal with new challenges. Then you go and solve them. But we urge you, find your purpose, add value, serve wherever you are, and impact lives. And it can be just teaching somebody something. It can be just sharing your words, starting your podcast, somebody listening to you. It just that has been planted within you. And if, as I said, if you're struggling to find out what it is, find someone to help you to unleash that talents, that gifts that God has given you. It has been an awesome, awesome evening. Thank you so much for sharing. And to those who are on Facebook, please share on your timeline. Those who are on YouTube, please like and subscribe and share so that someone can receive this message. For me, I think what has resonated with me is to start, be consistent, and live each day as if you're going to die tomorrow because you don't know what is going to happen. So if you live with that mentality, you'll be doing so amazing things every day and you just get excited. As much as we go through the trials and tribulations of the day, you still have that energy and say, I changed a life. So we trust that you'll have that feeling soon of saying, I changed a life. I'm excited. Now I can go to sleep. Whether I wake up tomorrow, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Let me see if there's anything. I don't see any questions, but thank you so much. And we appreciate you. And to those who'll be listening, if you've got questions or something just sparked up from the discussion, type it through. And also tell us what were your key takeaways. For some people, we learn differently. So whatever you type is going to touch someone. They'll just scroll through and say, oh, this is what I wanted to hear. So type that message. It's meant for someone. Don't hesitate. Don't doubt. Just start and type it. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye,
you.
guys.